Okay, so first up, want to get the motherboard going with the CPU. Put the CPU, the motherboard. Also want to get the hard drives installed. I think it'd be easier to do that before I put the motherboard into the system, even though I've always traditionally liked to put the motherboard in first. Just it's heavy enough as it is, but I think I can add these in. It's not going to be a big deal, and it'd be nice to actually have some additional space here without needing to dig into the huge case just yet. So as far as the motherboard is concerned, a couple things that comes with the nice thing about this particular board, it supports dual power supply. So it's like a native feature it supports, and it's got all the components you need to do that. So it's got a Y cable for your 24 pin to do 2 power supplies, then also some extra cables. You don't need these basically unless you're going to do 2 PSUs. So I can just set those aside because I won't need those right now. Otherwise, maybe one of the neat things about this, because it's not a RGB motherboard, doesn't really have a bunch of lights on it. I'm not really focused on adding a lot of that to the build itself. I think the case might have some stuff, but the nice thing is then it really simplifies what the motherboard comes with. So a couple of things, as I said, download the manual PDFs. It's easier to work with, I think, then, but just keep your paper copies. Oh, that's just for the fan holder. Maybe the motherboard doesn't actually come with the manuals in the box. This must be how okay, so they come with barcodes that you can scan to get access to the motherboard. Got some SATA cables. I believe that's what those are. Also, because it supports, it has 2 USB 4 ports on the back that have corresponding inputs from a display port from a discrete GPU. So once I get my GPUs added, if I wanted to use one of the USB ports for video, I could do that. But this is going to be a server for me, so I don't really need these. But the nice thing is it comes with 2 cables to go from your discrete GPUs DP out into this mini DP in. By the way, this visualization in the manual in the upper right part here, it's showing a different backplate. This is not the same motherboard as the one down here. So I've been referring to the ports down here because this is accurate here. Before I put this away, there's some additional pads for SSDs. Just really, there's not a lot of parts in here, and that's kind of a nice thing, I think. There's a temperature sensor, some little rubber standoffs at times, and some replacement parts like a key latch replacement. I don't think I'm gonna need any of this stuff anytime soon. And I can just set this aside because I shouldn't really need any of this stuff. I just really need the motherboard right now. Man, this thing weighs, I don't know. This feels like it's 15 pounds. 10 or 15 pounds for sure. Very heavy. Let me actually slide that over so you can see it better. All right, so first up, just briefly talk about the rear I/O. So I've got on top here, I've got 2 USB 4 ports. They're the little round ones right here. And then right below them, I've got mini DisplayPort ins. That's how you can take a cable from your discrete GPU, hook it up into the DisplayPort in, and then you can pipe that video out over USB 4 to go out to a display. There are also 2 10 gigabit LAN ports and then a management port here for LAN. That gives you remote access to be able to get into the BIOS, change settings, as well as install the operating system without needing to even connect a display. Later on in my build process, I will use that to install an OS, so keep an eye out for that video, though it is going to be a bit further out because obviously I have to have the entire machine put together before I get to the point where I'm installing the OS. And then right below that, you've got 6 Type A USB 3.2 ports that are 10 gigabits. There's also a VGA port here for server management purposes for BMC. Got some audio ports here. Down in the bottom here, you got a clear CMOS button, and up here somewhere, you've got the BIOS flashback button here. And up on top here, that's where you can plug in the thumb drive with a new BIOS version to install that then. By the way, this is a USB 2.0 port, so do not use that for anything fast. Plug into one of these for 10 gigabit port or go with USB 4 USB-C adapter there for really fast 40 gigabits per second.